I'm Stefan Dooney. I'm an advisor and we help medical specialists. So today I want to go over just putting in place our financial plan. And I think everybody should be able to say three things of their plan that is bringing their long-term direction together. So I've been trying to articulate that in the last period of time with our clients. I think that we really should be able to go, okay, well, what's three things? I'm going to give you a couple of examples of those three things later. But I feel like a plan can just relieve so much anxiety and worry and stress about the long term because having a plan in place, a robust plan, can give you confidence that it is going to come together without a lot of effort. You just need to go through the process. And so I think if you're a consultant now or if you're on a training program, to bring your examinations together when you're going through them, you would have had some sort of study plan or an idea about the key things you needed to hit to be successful. And it's potentially less about the stress on the plan. There's certainly a lot of stuff that's going along ongoingly that you need to just get on top of and get on top of. But if you have an overriding plan that you have confidence in and you measure along the way, and there's all sorts of things to stay on track with the plan. But if you have some sort of plan, it's going to give you at least an idea that it should come together if you execute the plan. So when I think about the planning industry, the financial planning industry, I think in the main part, they've got this exactly opposite. And they spend a lot of time on the product and they really put themselves out on the product side and they spend less time on the plan. And to me, the product is a secondary consideration. So if you've got a strong link that you want to keep your Q super going or your first state super going, whatever it might be, it shouldn't matter to your overall plan. Because as an example, if you're not getting enough money into superannuation to start with, it doesn't matter if you're using Q Super, First State Super, somebody else, it's just not going to come together. And so the fundamentals are the plan, okay? And the product is a secondary consideration. It's important, but it is not the fundamentals, okay? So if I think about a basic plan and a couple of clients, are rolling through my head, and what I think you should just go to the basics. Big basics to me are super, mortgage, and cash flow. Okay, so those three things. So if I think about a good basic super plan might be you're going to do maximum contributions to super for your entire working life. So the earlier you start that, the absolute better. If you've got a spouse, some sort of mechanism having some regular contributions going in there, then if you a good planner will help you understand that if you do something specific over a very long period of time, there's going to be an outcome. And so I suggest a maximum super contributions for you and your partner over your entire life is going to be enough for most, medical specialists to have a good retirement as a foundation point. Okay, so there's going to be enough money there. So if we can just focus on that, we know that if we can make it all the way to that point, there's going to be enough money there. Okay, so that's sort of point one. Point two would be your mortgage. And so people don't think enough about the actual repayments fortnight to fortnight or month to month. They just make some repayments. And it's not hard to work out how much you need to put towards that loan to be debt free by a certain age. Okay, it's just a discipline. So human nature is, the more that's in our accounts, the more we'll spend. So we need to look at the loan account and go, okay, well, when's a realistic time that we could be debt free on this? Might be 55, 57, 60. It's going to be different for different people. But you can put a plan in to go, well, I know if I just keep hitting this amount every single month, maybe that's $6,500 a month, 6,700, 6,200, whatever the number is, if you consistently hit that, you're going to be debt free. So those two things, if you're doing those two things, that could be the 20% of effort. It's going to bring 80% of your life together. And if you just focus on nothing else but those two things, then, you've got some vague idea that things are going to be okay. And that's a great sort of starting point. Then the third thing, and perhaps I should have led with this, but it can be a completely separate video in its own, is really knowing your cash flow. And we do all sorts of things, fancy things for clients, simple things for clients, complicated things for clients, whatever it might be. But often it comes back to me as this was the best thing they ever did. And it's so simple that it is cash flow. And so, rather than wondering where your cash goes, you really should be directing your cash where to go and have some sort of division in your money consistently. And I would say every fortnight, money should be going to different accounts for different purposes. So we've talked about mortgage. That's an example of some money should be going there, consistent amount on top of just the normal repayments. Super, it's another example of that can happen consistently and just happening. And then I think you should be thinking about school fees, holidays, tax, all those sorts of things in separate accounts. And that just gives you a lot of confidence and comfort to know that, when the school fees come, there's money in there. And you might start, budgeting for those before the kids hit those school period times. Tax, you just never have to worry. There's always enough money in your tax account. So I think then that really sort of changes the paradigm from thinking or worrying as much about, oh, I'm spending so much money, how's it going to come together? If you can have a basic sort of plan, tie into those big picture items, so you've got a short-term plan, you're going to go, well, I know I'm going to do that into super in the long term, and I've got to do that to mortgage on the long term, and it can help you get to some of those, maybe more fun goals, like some bigger holidays. If you want to do renovations, things like that, you can tweak and adjust the plan. So I think there's sort of the three things that I really think should be the foundation of any plan. And you should be working with someone or coming up with yourself to put those into place and to know your specific plan, the things that are really important to you. And it just allows you to, unburden yourself from that financial worry. Because if you have a plan in place, you just need to consistently execute the plan, check in on it once a year, once every 6 months, whatever it is. Things are going to pop up and change, absolutely. Like there are a lot of hurdles that come along, but you can always kind of, if you have a plan, then you try and do that, and then you adjust the plan, and that's where someone like us can come in, or you can do it yourself. But you need some sort of idea about the direction you're heading in, I think, and then that can just allow you to focus on the other things that are a lot more important, maybe not more important, but maybe more enjoyable. Certainly to me, I'd rather spend time, 6 weeks on holiday in Tasmania if the COVID stuff clears up. I know it will clear up at some point in time, but that was sort of one of our long-term held ambitions that we were going to do. And that stuff excites me. It's not, am I going to retire at 60 or 62 or whatever? I know enough money is going into my superannuation account that there's going to be enough money there when I stop working. Okay, so if there's anybody got questions, feel free to reach out to me on it. But I think that's a great starting point. I'm going to go into some different specifics in the next few weeks about, business plans and monitoring a plan, adjusting a plan, and those sorts of things over the next period of time. So have a good weekend, everyone. It's a weekend here, hence my casual close. So.